Hi, I'm Michelle Bosch, real estate investor, mom, wife, and host of the InFLOW podcast. And I'm passionate about helping women invest in land and apartments. If you're tired of the ups and downs of the stock market or the hassles that come with investing with houses and are looking for investments that actually produce passive cash flow safely and predictably, join me each and every week for real estate investing strategies and interviews with thought leaders that will leave you inspired and ready to step into flow for inflows of cash, inflows of ease, and inflows of grace in your life. Now, here on YouTube are the video versions of my podcast, and in order for you to get my latest information, please go ahead and subscribe. And now, let's go. Welcome to the InFLOW podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Bosch. I am coming to you today from my office in Phoenix, Arizona, and we are marking with the release of this episode, the 1-year anniversary of the InFLOW podcast. And I just wanted to take a moment to really thank you all. You know, the listener, if you're now watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in every single week for the last year. Or if you have passed this on and shared this with other important women in your life, thank you for that as well. I really appreciate, you helping me spread the word and helping me get more women investing in real estate. So I thought that I wanted to do a little recap and lessons learned over the course of this year as I have been working on this podcast. It was a new project. It was a new venture for me. And I wanted to basically talk to you guys about the 10 lessons I've learned over the course of the year. And I wanted to start with lesson number 1. And that is that whatever it is that you are looking to start doing, whatever it is that you desire, whatever a goal that you might have, whatever, dreams that you might have, go ahead and start, even if you don't feel ready. Even if you're taking baby steps, take a step, do something, to bring you forward towards that goal. Everything that is worth doing is worth doing poorly in the beginning. I still have my little stickies here, my little notes, so that I don't forget, to talk to you guys about, certain things or certain points that I want to make. And so I am not, a polished, perfect, speaker, but here I am. I'm still getting my message out there. I'm still, putting the best of me out there, and I'm fulfilling my purpose of really transforming, the financial lives of families here in the U.S. So go ahead and put yourself forward, get going, even if you don't feel ready. Waiting for everything to be perfect is, like I've said in the past, is a trap. Things are never going to be perfect. So just go for it, take bold action, and just get closer towards those goals, towards those ambitions. Because even if you make mistakes, you'll be so much closer than if you didn't start. So you can decide whether you start today or you start someday. And I would say let's go for starting today. The time is now. Whatever it is that you're after, that you're pursuing, whether it be, freedom of financial, of freedom of finances, of money, of time, of relationships, of purpose, go get started right now. So that was lesson number 1. And along with that, I wanted to say that this is super crucial, important, this lesson, because in my experience, what I have learned is, and I call it the extension of faith, and that is that faith starts with ourselves, and that if we have faith in ourselves and we bet on ourselves, even if we don't feel ready, that eventually that faith starts moving outward, and it starts, also including faith in the goodness of others, faith in the unknown, and knowing that you'll be able to figure things out as you go along. So that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is that, in my experience also, becoming financially free is about something bigger than just the freedom of money. It has really allowed me and my husband to really step into our purpose, into the reason why we're here on this earth. And I could have not done it without pursuing, this financial freedom. So if you find yourself right now, that you're not really working in something that is your true purpose, I can say that one path towards it would be for, the stress of money not to be part of your life, not having to think that you have to go to a job that you hate, and exchange hours for dollars. And if you start working towards financial freedom, that win in that one category of your life, which is finances, will translate to all other categories, including, living a purpose-driven life. So that's lesson number 2. And before I move on to lesson number 3, I wanted to say that, and it kind of goes along with lesson 1, is that you don't want to, go for things when all lights are green. You don't start driving to get from point A to point B and drop off your daughter, in school, or your son in school, waiting for all traffic lights to be green. You just get out of your garage, you start driving, and you get to the first light, and if it's green, you go, and if it's red, you stop, and then you keep going when it turns green. And that's kind of how, our dreams, our ambitions, our goals, this is how we should go about them. We shouldn't be waiting for all lights to turn green. So now moving on to lesson number 3. Lesson number 3 is that I've learned is over the course of the year, just from me being able to have a light. I have a little light here in front of me to illuminate my face, my laptop, and sometimes I've done it even with my phone, is that we live in unprecedented times when we can where we can really broadcast our message out incredibly easily because of the technology that is available to all of us. We are able in this time right now to build businesses and build, a life that we really love and enjoy by just using our phone or a laptop. And I wholeheartedly believe that that you can do so, and because we've done it, in the past, we continue to do it today. And I have so many clients that are right now, flipping land and really working towards that freedom of money and freedom of time and so on and so forth. By just using a phone, by using their laptop, by, listing properties, by taking calls, by, creating invoices on their phone, by pretty much using the technology that is here and that is available to all of us, so it's unprecedented times. Back in the day, if you wanted to broadcast a message, if you wanted to list anything, you had to do it on paper. You depended on a publication to publish your stuff. If you wanted to broadcast a message like I am right now, you had to be employed or be part of a big, TV station or so on. And now we pretty much can just broadcast, whatever we have. And that's incredible, in terms of creating service and impact for, for our sellers, for our buyers, for our investors. So, so if you're a mom, in corporate America, or if you are a mom that has been out of the workforce, and you are looking to start investing in real estate, I want to say that you can start doing it right now. And it can, and just by having access to your laptop or a phone, you can start really creating profits in an asset class that is incredibly simple, such as land. If you love what you do, though, I also wanted to say that if you love what you do, you can also, leverage other people's expertise and really start investing passively and start making your money work for you, by having others do the heavy lifting for you as well. So there's no reason why we shouldn't have our money work for us, or we shouldn't be working towards, that, like a client calls it, a path of joy, by, starting a business and going through the path of financial freedom, so that win in that category translates to, wins in other categories of our lives. So now lesson number 4 is, from all the women that I have interviewed, is that we all agree that our courage, as women, as ladies, with our money has really not caught up with our opportunities, that there's a lot of opportunities available out there, but we don't feel brave enough. We don't feel that we're educated enough, and to really take money matters into our own hands and we're just not completely there. And so I believe that that is the final liberation for women, is to not just be able to make money and, you know, be earners of our money, but also be incredible stewards of our money and great investors and make that money work for us. That's the next step. And that's why, you know, Jack and myself, we're incredibly passionate, along with our team, about you know, putting education out there, about creating courses. We pour a lot of love into those, into seminars, into workshops, into coaching, so that we can get, you know, many more families to start enjoying and start really living, you know, these freedoms. So lesson number 5 is also that I've learned from all the ladies that I have interviewed, and even by you know, my experience over the course of the last year, really putting my message forward out there and really speaking up my mind, is that when it comes to leadership, we need to uncensor ourselves much more. We need to stop editing ourselves. We need to really show up, and when it's important, we need to, you know, stand and, you know, our ground in what we believe and in our dreams, you know, and the things that we want to do. We need to basically go out there uncensored and put our message forward, that our voice is incredibly important, that not just our physical presence is important, but that our voices really are key to manifesting a lot of the things that we want to bring into our lives. So that's lesson number 5. Lesson number 6, when it comes to getting further faster, and this, whether it be within a group of women or in anything in life, you know, we cannot be thinking anymore about, you know, oh, this is a man's world or this is a woman's world, or you know, thinking in male versus female or gender, you know, differences. We need to think that in order to get further faster, we need to start thinking on the basis of collaboration. I truly believe that the next level of business leadership, and not just business leadership, but probably politics and everything that you can think of right now, that a lot of the problems that we have right now can be solved by really finding common ground and collaboration. And this is a superpower that we have as women anyway. So it's a matter of just, you know, using it. Lesson number 7, and it goes very, you know, very closely aligned with lesson number 6, you know, about all the ladies and that I have been having the pleasure and honor to interview, is that I have noticed that all of them, in order to get ahead, are not being more like men in order to get ahead, but they're actually tapping into their female superpowers of connection, superpowers of empathy, superpowers of panoramic vision, of webbed thinking, and of collaboration, like I just mentioned earlier. So that's definitely something that I've learned, you know, and that's lesson number 7, that to get ahead, we can't be really trying to be more like men, you know, when it comes to being stewards of our money, that we need to use the superpowers that we already have: intuition, connection, empathy, panoramic view, webbed thinking, collaboration, to really get ourselves ahead. Yeah. Lesson number 8, and I have to say that this is especially true for entrepreneurial women. You know, it can be a lonely journey out there. And I think it's incredibly important that if you're an entrepreneurial woman, that you start, or that you form, that you find a circle of women that you can trust. And I believe that's incredibly important. I have seen my own development as a result of being part of such a brain trust of women, you know, of entrepreneurial women. And what I have learned is that we are able to inspire each other. We're able to learn from each other. We're able to lean in on each other, and we're able to really support each other in seeking support. You know, we are very easily can justify a new hire in our offices or in our businesses, but we cannot justify help at home, you know, with laundry, with cooking, with you know, with our children, with et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very important, I think, for us as women to see that we're not the only ones, that all of us are doing it, that there are, you know, different ways to skin the cat. But at the end of the day, that if you don't have family close by, and you have the means and the possibility that you need to seek support for all the stuff at home that, takes up your headspace, that takes up your energy, and that is, to be frank, not part of your genius anyways. So, you shouldn't be spending your time, and rather spending your time on the things that inspire you, that fuel you, that really bring you forward. Lesson number 9 is that everything is easier when we're taking inspired action. I've had weeks where I have had a day packed full, lined up, scheduled up, and the inspiration was not there. And that day, just didn't come up or didn't turn out like I was hoping it would turn out. And that's okay, that I, need to give myself grace, that you need to give yourself grace, and take a moment, take some time to step away and really get re-energized, really get re-inspired. And from that place of inspiration, come and go at it again. That things are easier when we're inspired, that it's not that we're not going to meet obstacles, but that when we do meet them, we're much more grounded, and we can really, just breeze through them. That's the experience that I've had over the year. Lesson number 10, and this is the final lesson, and that is that happiness, and I'm going to even read this because I want to get this right, that happiness is a new rich, that inner peace is a new success, that health is our first wealth. And I have learned, ever since I've had, the experience of burnout and recovering from that burnout, and even as I have been making recordings, on a yearly basis, and staying on top to make sure that I'm putting enough value out there to you guys in a weekly basis, that the most important piece of real estate, and I know we talk about real estate here on a different context in this podcast, but I want to also bring to your awareness that the most important piece of real estate that we do own is our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, and I tend to think of those as three different bodies, but it's all this piece of real estate right here, the one that you're touching, the one that you're squeezing, if you can squeeze your arms right now, and that this body, that you need to take care of it, that you need to honor, that you need to cherish it, and that if there's a day where things are not feeling well, in this thing, that you need to give yourself some grace, that you need to do some self-love, some self-care, and re-energize yourself, and find that vital force that makes, your mind be inspired again, that makes your emotions be, in high frequencies again, and that optimally, in the end, helps the physicality, this physiology feel great and outstanding and energized to go out there and do things, because this real estate that I'm talking about, when this real estate is feeling fantastic, this is the thing that is going to allow us to go for our dreams, for our ambitions, for our deep yearnings of the heart. And it's truly, in my opinion, true prosperity. When you're feeling good, grounded in your body, that's what gives you the confidence. That's what gives you the courage to go, do all kinds of what other people would consider crazy, but are just amazing, fantastic dreams and ambitions. But we cannot do that if we feel, mentally stressed. Who can be brave and courageous when, they're mentally stressed or emotionally, not feeling optimal, and as a result, their physiology is not feeling great. So those are my 10 lessons, and I hope this serves you in any way in terms of what I've learned over the course of this year. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in every week, for being part of this year of my own journey, of your journey, learning about real estate, about land investing, learning about apartment investing, and just business in general and entrepreneurship in general. and just becoming a great investor and becoming a great steward of your money. So thank you so much for another episode with me. If you enjoyed this podcast, please go ahead and forward this on to somebody in your life, to a woman in your life that needs to hear this. Give us a 5-star review if you can, of course, either on iTunes or on YouTube. I'd love to hear your feedback. And with that, I will have to say now goodbye and until the next one. And that will be, episode number 1 of year 2. So thank you so much. I greatly appreciate all the support, the attention, and you guys tuning in every week to spend some time and share a few moments with me. I'm deeply grateful. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and ready to get inflows of cash, inflows of light, and inflows of faith in your life. I welcome your reviews on iTunes. Please leave me a review and help me create an amazing community of women in flow. Thank you, as always, for sharing your voice by going to michellebosch.com and joining the conversation about this show. And while you're there, grab a copy of my 10 Commandments to Living a Life in Flow. You can also follow me on Facebook at Michelle Bosch and on Instagram at Michelle Bosch Official. Thank you very much, and until the next one.